Shalom, welcome to Yahweh's Learning Channel. My name is Brother Charles Williams. The message is called Messiah's Withdrawal. Today I'd like to talk about something that every believer goes through. You see, there's times in our walk when we sense Yahweh's presence, His blessing, His favor, His love, and His moving. And there are other times when we don't. He seems to be far away. He seems to be on some distant planet. His presence seems withdrawn. You don't hear him talking or feel that joy or assurance. You wonder what happened. Maybe you feel like Job did in Job chapter 23, verses 8 through 10. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot perceive him. On the left hand, where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. We have to stand on the word of Yahweh. Look what it says in Job chapter 34, verse 21. For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings. Or Proverbs chapter 5, verse 21. For the ways of man are before the eyes of Yahweh, and he pondereth all his goings. Or 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 9. For the eyes of Yahweh run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to shew himself strong on the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. And finally, Job chapter 31, verse 4. Doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? So we see in these scriptures here that Yahweh's watching us. He seeth all our comings and our goings. He sees our uprisings and our downfalls. But he loves us anyway. He's always there for us. He's always there in our presence. But sometimes we don't feel him. You see, if we're in his will, we need to consider this. Yahweh spent several years with his disciples. Then he left them. He had to. Otherwise, the Holy Spirit wouldn't have came, and the disciples wouldn't have gone forth and matured and changed the world. John chapter 16, verse 7 says, Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. Sometimes Yahweh has to withdraw. Not his love, not his grace or favor, not even his presence, but the signs of his presence and the feelings which surround it. He does this not because he don't love you, but because he does love you, so that you can grow in faith, in hope, in perseverance, in ministry, and in your calling. So the next time you don't feel Yahweh, don't panic, but step out. There's something for you to rise to. It's time for you to graduate and to go forth as his disciple. Remember what Messiah said in John chapter 14, verse 18. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come unto you. Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. Teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. And finally, Psalms chapter 139, verses 7 through 11. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning, and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy right hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall become light about me. And Psalms chapter 5 verses 11 and 12. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, Yahweh, wilt bless the righteous. With favor wilt thou compass him with a shield. I'm going to close with this. And that is, whether you feel his presence today or not, rejoice in Yahweh. The scriptures say in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 16, rejoice evermore. And also in Philippians chapter 4 verse 4 says, rejoice in Yahweh always. And again I say, rejoice. So no matter what the situation we're going through, Yahweh's presence is always there with us. He's always there with us. We might not feel him and wonder where he's at, but he is there with us. Okay, and we need to take a step to move forward in spiritual maturity and victory. You need to pray what David said in Psalms chapter 51 verses 10 through 13. He said, create in me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. So we see what David said. And this was after his sin with Bathsheba. He said to create in him a clean heart. Look at that. It says, cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. You see, David did not want Yahweh's presence to leave him, and he didn't want the Holy Spirit to be taken from him. He wanted to know that Yahweh was there. We thank you for listening to this short little teaching. May Yahweh bless you.